Well, I think that I will tell you this, and I don't think anybody's gonna appreciate what I'm saying, but please trust me as a lawyer of 30 years who has both prosecuted police civilly and now and defended a lot of people who've been charged with crimes. Prosecuting a police officer is not an easy thing to do. Let me just remind you, when the officers were prosecuted for murder of Walter Scott in South Carolina, they were acquitted. We didn't even get an indictment on the guys who killed Mike Brown. I can tell you that the officers, and if you talk about quasi police like Zimmerman, he walked away from Trayvon Martin.
Yes.
The fact is that the jury is going to be made up of a lot of white suburban upper class people who don't live through police brutality. And so you've got to be very careful to put these cases together. They take a while. And so I know everybody said, charge him, charge him, charge him. And I would have charged him much sooner than even Mike did. But there's never been a police officer charged this quickly after a shooting incident. Now, you all will say, well, wait a minute. If I did this, they'd have me in jail that day. And you're right. But in this society, the law says that police officers are authorized to use force unless it's unreasonable force. And so, I'm just saying constructing this case takes longer. I will say that it's a good thing that this guy was charged. The other officers need to be charged too, and these people need to be brought to justice. And I will tell you honestly, if it had not been for the community raising its voice, demanding justice, it's unlikely that
Yes.
they would have been charged. This guy would have been charged this soon. But I
Correct.
want you to know that even though Mike Freeman has suffered criticism, and it is this is the fastest I've ever seen a police officer get charged, and what we're doing is not going to be an easy thing. So I say, keep up the pressure. Don't take no for an answer, but also please know, particularly as leaders, that prosecuting a police officer for murder is not an easy thing to do. It doesn't happen every day. And if you look at the history, mostly what happens is that they get away with it.
Mhm.
And so the fact that this cop is charged, no grand jury, I hope people understand that represents progress over the course of years, many years. People saying, you're not going to whitewash this thing with a grand jury. We want these people charged right away. That represents not just this protest, but many, many others that happened in years ago that have brought us to the point where we're finally getting closer to justice.